Hi everyone, and welcome to the first of India Art Fair's online programming series. My name is Uma and I lead programming, collector engagement and outreach at the Art Fair. Today, we are super excited to begin with a wonderful opportunity to visit the mammoth exhibition, Lokame Tharavadu, The World is One Family, curated by our very own Bose Krishnamachari, who dons many, many hats as an artist, curator, connector, collector, and most of all, founder, member, and president of the Kochi Muziris Biennale Foundation. For those who don't know already, led under the Kochi Biennale Foundation with the support of the government of Kerala, Lokame Tharavadu is a colossal contemporary art exhibition featuring the works of over 250 artists from Kerala, taking place across 5 newly renovated venues in Alappuzha and Ernakulam, two lovely green cities. To set the stage, I would like to first welcome Premji Shachari, who is heading the program and editorial for Lokame Tharavadu, to give us a brief introduction to the exhibition, how it was conceived and planned, and its evolution into this mega show.
I welcome all of you today, and you won't be disappointed. We are at the Port Museum right now, and Bose will lead the walkthrough very soon. I'm sure many of you who are, I can see a lot of participants who are from the exhibition itself, but those who are not from Kerala and those who have not seen the exhibition, I am giving you a kind of a presentation to show you the exhibition. So this is the Kerala State Choir Corporation godown. These two are what we call as the Shed B and the Shed D. These two are important venues. On the right side, what you're seeing as the symbol for water is the sea. So the Port Museum is very close to the beach. This is the other venue, the New Model Choir Society. And there is a courtyard building that is also used. And this is a private space. William Goodacre is again a private space, number 5. And number 6 is the Eastern Produce Company, which is also called as the Alappuzha Company. And then finally, we have the Port Museum, where Bose is going to lead the walkthrough today. I would quickly take you through the spaces that are designed, and you will also be able to see how the transformation has happened. So this is the Port Museum, which you're going to see right now. And this is the production taking place, and this is the exhibition view. The production started from Feb, and by April, almost within 3 months, 90% of the production was complete. This is the Kerala State Choir Corporation building. And as you can see, there are a range of works, paintings, sculptures, installations, site-specific interventions, and all. This is the New Model Society. This is another private venue called Eastern Produce Company, EPC, or Alappuzha Company. This is William Goodacre and Sons. You can see how the spaces have transformed, and kind of a completely professional designed space has evolved, and this exhibition is happening in this kind of atmosphere. Also, there are a lot of mural work which are done outside, not only on the walls of the venues, but also in various public spaces. So that's what the exhibition is about. And Lokame Tharavadu means the world is one family. The world which is reeling under lockdown, alienation, and isolation should all come together. And art and culture has a great role in bringing together people and also healing. And Bose will talk about this a lot, because this exhibition is Bose's vision to bring together the community. And according to him, that art is like you need art, or we need art. That's what Bose believes in. And art needs you and you need art. Bose, over to you, please.
Great. Thank you so much. Good evening to everyone from God's own country. It is also known as Venice of the East, Alappuzha. I'm standing across the seaside, and the Port Museum. We installed 267 artists in 7 venues in Alappuzha and 1 venue in Ernakulam. I would like to take you through when I started inviting artists, and I have sent an invitation with the 38 different kind of languages, translated of The World is One Family, Lokame Tharavadu, which is translated in 38 languages. And that poster was the invitation to the artists. Only one thing I suggested to my artists that, please think about it as a solo show or semi-solo show. And I have received immense support from my artist community from Kerala. They live and works in different parts of the world, 15 countries participating. And I walked through to or traveled through to Kerala during the time of pandemic from Kannur to Trivandrum. I could find some fantastic artists, older generation as well as younger generation, self-taught, academically practiced, many kind of practices I could find. I'll take you through the entrance of the place. And also before starting, I would like to thank Kerala for Kerala Tourism, Kerala State, Alappuzha Heritage Project, Muslims Heritage Project. Current group, they have given 2 fantastic places. Faisal and Shabana financially supported. Kudumbasri is one of the largest organizations, as you know, New Model Society, and our friends supported, Kirloskar supported Power Titan, a wonderful collector, Ravi Sam supported Bajaj, Cameo Studio, and also Jackson's Unique Garden. Unique you can find here. They have developed this garden. Before starting this, I would like to show an example of how these buildings were existing here. Like you can see that building, right? It was totally dilapidated and it is restored and reconstructed, or you can say embellished by this architect, engineer, Benny Kuriakos. I would like to take you to the first room. We have 8 buildings in this whole set, and Rajesh Sachin. It is interesting to see artists practicing from Kerala always have some kind of connect with the boat. Here it is almost like the skeleton of a boat, and also the other sculpture represents Gandhi and the weaver's place. And it is, of course, it is standing on the rocks of it, and it cannot be defeated in some ways. People who works with manual workers and the craftsmen from these lands. You can show this entire space here. Here it is, you can see small maquettes made out of 8. This is the first building you have seen, and I have divided this into three parts. And the third building and 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, you can see it further. There was some more to be fixed. I love architecture. I love design. So it's all in a way that's scenography. I really like the way then some of the places I created, like a kind of maze, you get lost in, you have to find your own path to get out of the exhibition space. Here it is, like on my travel, I found a lady, and also suggested by one of my friends, Sudhish from Calicut, suggested you must meet up this woman who is working in practicing her art in Calicut. It was in an interior place. He took me and I met Shanta CM, and she's a self-taught artist, and she sells eggs and groceries, so smaller stuff, and living with that kind of small accumulated stuff in her life. I used to think, like when I visited a studio, And the studio was also supported by Indian Institute of Architects. They built her a small studio and home in Calicut. And I was happily picked up a couple of great works from her. This is really, when I look at these abstract works, I don't know whether she is aware of abstract paintings of schools, but these works are amazing in many ways. I used to tell my friends, if she was born in Germany or in New York, she would have been a star. You know, like many of the artists in the international scene, when we look at it, you see artists like Louis Bourgeois or Maria Lassing. In later life, they found their life in the contemporary art scene. This is a fantastic Arte Povera work by, you know, they may not talk about Arte Povera. I believe this is real an example of Arte Povera by Walsen Kurmak. There are few artists you can find it in this exhibition with such incredible different kinds of schools of thoughts. And he's woven, you know, coconut leaf, and you know, is a real master of craftsmanship as well as you know. So here you can see a lot of his drawings and paintings. It is not just he wanted to use non-reflective glasses, so it gives a certain kind of haziness, and also there is a kind of folded assemblage kind of work he's done it. So it's kind of large scale painting, then folded and folded and kept it as a kind of assemblage. So Wilson, so there are 3 rooms in this space, and when you get into the second space here, you see these little drawings and sketches and paintings by Unnikrishan C. When we were traveling, you know, when we were researching, our curator, second edition curator, Jitish Kalad and myself, we went to see that annual exhibition of Trichy Fine Arts College. And we found this young man, Unnikrishan, as one of the finest mind who is working in different medium and fantastic work. These 2 works are picked up from his home itself, the door and window. And this artist was shown in the second edition of the Biennale, and then it has gone to, from there it was in Sharjah Biennale, Yuka Hasegawa picked up that exhibition, and the Sharjah Biennale Foundation bought his work. Then later he showed his works in Switzerland and other places. These are the examples I can say, success of young people who shown in Biennale. This is the vertical of this Lokame Tharavadu is a vertical of the Kochi Biennale Foundation. And like Students Biennale, which you can see it in online, presently curated by 5 brilliant artists. This is by our own artist, Raghunathan C. Raghunathan lives in Alappuzha, and he constructed this, built this work with fiberglass, used lots of, you know, I'd say that a lot of satire in his work. It's a kind of surreal yet satirical, very beautiful in many ways. We'll go to his, you know, I have given, as I mentioned, some of the artists, they built their own solo show. So Rekhu is one of them. Rekhu was also part of the, you know, he was one of the artists who, you know, there was an important movement in, it's called Radical Painters and Sculptors Group. So these Gandhi, it's actually the directions also in some ways, you know, Gandhi is also returning in some ways in our philosophical life. You can show the 360 degree of the space. This Gandhi sculpture is a bronze casted, and these works are fiberglass. I really like the way he's been, you know, processed and given the textures to this whole body. You can see a Miyawaki garden. In this room, I have two brilliant young artists. Dibin Tilagan, Dibin's painting and the small scale installation. I really love the materiality used by artists in these projects. It is very sensitive, and in a way, the process of making such really sensitive sculpture is, when I talk about Lokame Tharavadu, I can see the real meaning from such wonderful work. And it's also architecture. He's taken it from Kerala, and it's miniature ways of painting, miniature style of painting. And he's one of the most promising young, brilliant artists coming from Trichure. This is a project by Arun KS. Arun was part of the biennial when Jagdish Kallat Jagdish invited him to show his large paintings in Kochi. These tiles, there are tiles actually assembled together, and this material is lime and cow dung. Usually you make it for in Kerala, everybody's home. Earlier times, the traditional ways of making walls and floors used to have these kind of material. And this, when I was talking about arte povera, the materiality, these are the finest example. And it's a kind of improvisation on site. This is about 60 feet long space and 24 feet wide. This space we have it. And this he lived and worked in these places for, I think, couple of months. And then always I could see a lot of other friends were also joining hands with him, picking up, and also friends become another. I could see that so many artists learned it from him or imbibed it from him, and developed some kind of art making outside and inside of these spaces as well. And there were architects and artists. Here, I would like to show this earlier, this home kind of thing from the distance. When I designed this property in the architecture, I really believe in this assembling, or you can see that the home as a hut as a kind of thing, or a minimalistic basic structure created to divide the space. And we have 4 fantastic work by Gigi Scaria. This is all bronze casted work. It is all casted in Jaipur. One of our friends, his studio, and brought it here. There are 2 kinetic sculptures created by, this is also bronze sculpture by Gigi Scaria. Basically, it moves up and falling kind of things to the bodies of the cute. This is also, we have a sensor to use this to move it. Presently it's not working, but this is a bronze casted sculpture installation. This trunk or the roots, it moves slowly and comes out, kind of go in and comes out kind of thing. The 4th sculpture is like a Russian doll. This is not a kinetic work, but there is a sense of kinetic approach to its faith. And these homes, it's a kind of expanded small to the big, or bigger to the smaller. And I like it in this origin is the end, as Tagore says. And you can see this place were almost like a jungle, and now it is like we converted this place into. We really wanted to create. You can show this as a kind of 360-degree thing, and these places which we wanted to have poetry reading, performance, all kinds of. Maybe a small cafe where we could read out our poems. Those levels we conceptualized it in beginning of this year. Our show was first time it was opened on 18th of April, but unfortunately we had to close it down in 12 days time due to the rise of COVID. But recently we opened it on 13th of August and opened by our tourism minister, Mr. Mohammad Riaz, opened this show. I have two artists here. First one is from Alappuzha. His name is Amin Khalil. Amin works, his work is also fantastic. How he, it reminds me of a little bit of early years of Jiddish Kallad. I'm not comparing with the Jiddish with Amin, but Amin is a fantastic thinking artist from this land. He's done 8 works for this project, used lots of material, glistening materials to acrylate to, that's the transfer, all those kind of things they created. A singular work, Radhakrishnan has given 5 works for this project, larger scale to the smaller one. So this is the second biggest work here, and this is a bronze casted sculpture by K.S. Radhakrishnan. He lives and works in Shantiniketan and in Delhi. Another amazing artist I found during my travel and knew her for some time, a self-taught artist. Her name is Smita GS. And this she's actually prolific when it comes to like whenever I have found a studio different all the time she created or exhibition perhaps I've seen always some kind of unknown world she brings it on her space. This is for me, it's a magical realism, or maybe one. For example, this work. It's a smaller work. It's 4 feet by 3 feet. Such an imagination. I don't know how she could have it, and especially in Kerala. When I think about it, copulating, an image something like this. And these 2 beautiful, 3 beautiful landscape. I don't know what to call it, but there is a kind of surreal. I could see there is kind of amazing colors coming through that whole work. So it's all beautiful. When I would say that please do come to Kerala. You can have a good time, and it's very close by to the backwaters. And there is one sculpture by Radhakrishnan again. It's bronze. And this place it's a hut kind of space, open space, sort of earlier days, sitting with some few friends and having a chai or, have conversation. It's a beautiful place. It's a small place. And it's also done by the small drawings. There's a special ink produced in Ponnani, a place called Ponnani. And the ink is called Ponnani ink. And this is only for, for making, Quran, writing Quran. They used to make a special ink. It is called Ponnani ink. And the artist is from Ponnani, created these beautiful little drawings and wash drawings and wash paintings. So the railway line is going very close by, and we said here it's a typical village life which I used to have it in my childhood. I used to stay 100 meters away from the railway lines. I could experience the same thing here. And this land is kind of, I think, I was walking through with the tourism director, and he was saying this place is all used to be the sea, and it is It is in a way transformed this place, with the sand and clay. This is a fertile land. Immediately after, even if it is, it was for few weeks, this place will immediately transform into kind of. So you can have fantastic paddy fields here, all those kind of stuff. Anyway, we have a beautiful gallery space now. It used to be a kind of open space, and I have created all the false walls to make this gallery great. Here I have two brilliant artists. One is Bhaskaran. Bhaskaran is from Kasargod, and he lives in was in Ernakulam. He works with the Week magazine as well. And this is about the Punnapravailar revolution, 1946. I got 7 paintings with references of those time and understanding the present situation. Punnapravailar was really an important move, political revolution happened. Here it is, you can see a 360-degree of not just because of this sculpture, but there's a kind of concave, convex kind of approach, and also used by terracotta and wood carved. And this little lady or little girl, she's very short, beautiful. Chitra makes amazing large scale carved works as well. Carved, stone carved, monumental sculptures she makes it. She's a really powerful woman, and wonderful, sketches or paintings, you can call it, as kind of on corrugated paper. There's a fiberglass sculpture she's done. You can go around this sculpture and I have to, I'm really sorry this when I do this walkthrough, I missed an important couple of important projects. Let me have a walkthrough again to rush through that. Here it is, it's in Malayalam, Pujyam Pujyam to Nuru. It's like the numeral 1 to 100. 100 portraits is done with, this is and 3 light boxes. It's all train journey. He's taken, he's taken the photograph when he traveled. And he works with the Outlook magazine. He used to work with, he's a journalistic photographer. It's amazing, great work done by Girish Chivi. Unikrishnan is also talks about, he lives in Muscat and in Ernakulam. Also, NFT is very much into that in contemporary. I'm not really sure about how to talk about NFT, but he is quite good at it. And also these gardens, like as I was mentioning, unique gardens created these for us. I don't know what is this species called, but it's all beautiful. And there's an outside sculpture, a granite sculpture, carved sculpture by, this text written on it. It's called, I can see absurdity, I can see belief, I can see a lot of things by artist John Matthew. It's written in Malayalam, Devam Varum, which means God will come. It is like almost like waiting for Godot. Samuel Beckett, I remember Samuel Beckett when I see that sculpture. Andrew George. Andrew George is, like a thinking mind. He reads a lot, writes a lot, and he uses, materials which is like watercolor, gouache. It's more than watercolor, it is gouache painting. And the text, there is humor. It's almost like a 14th century, that old Christian culture, or those moments he wanted to bring back, that the memory of those period of things. And when you look at most of the Keralite artists, there's not a narration there, but there is a kind of sense of humor, sense of questioning, and all those kind of things. There are interesting texts given on these beautiful works. It's a paper pasted on, I think it's on canvas, and then created these works. The other work is by opposite wall. You can see artist, a photographer. I really admire this photographer. His name is Biju Abraham. Biju was shown in Kochi a few years ago. 44 different communities taken into family photographs and history of those people. So imagine there are 14 different kind of community and 44 different community, and he's taken that, visited each and everyone's home and created it. Here it's a kind of almost like a kind of experiential space from Hyderabad. There is the religious juxtaposition of different cultures and different religious lifestyles. And this small room dedicated to Kavita Balakrishnan's work. Kavita is teaching at the Fine Arts College, Dr. Kavita Balakrishnan. Here she used Malayalam script or typography to develop certain kind of advertising, the language of advertising, language of the early years of advertising, how it was implemented or marketed and things like that. So using that language and created these fantastic works. And there are three canvas digitally printed. ഞാൻ കാണുന്നത് നിങ്ങൾ കാണാത്തത്. ഞാൻ കാണുന്നു നിങ്ങൾ കാണാത്തത്. I see it, you haven't seen it, or I don't know how to say that, but yeah. Here we have three artists, one small sculpture by again K.S. Radhakrishnan. And really, I wanted to have a cafeteria outside of this place. That is one of the reasons we kept these windows were open. This space, entire space, I divided into three divisions, and it is about almost like a 700-meter long, or 600 to 700-meter long space, and it was fantastic to see when I came to observe or came to research on the site. It was really amazing to see that. And these smaller drawings by Shanti Ian. Shanti is whom I visited in Irinalakuda. It's in Trichet district. And the smaller drawings, she got a small room and kept all the things, the drawings and paintings kept under the bed, and like all that kind of places. And I found it really amazing. Collected some works from her, and these paintings are also these are recent paintings. You can take a closer look at it. And recently sold it to a collector, a local collector, bought all these works. So this exhibition is for like this I should not be talking about, but it is important that gives confidence to artists that living in working in Kerala, getting a better chance to through this exhibition. I'm sure there will be much more confidence will come, and also the creativity. There's so many different kinds of varieties. What was the most beautiful thing was the diversity I found in Kerala. This lady works in Mahi, a place called Mahi, and it's kind of reflections of her own land. And I could see to performative art forms. There's so many abstractions come from these kind of imagery is transformed and beautifully done abstracted work. So the transmission period, from landscape to these performative spaces, you could find it in our work. These are some canvas projects. So when I came first time, I said, wow, what a place, that kind of thing. And there's, of course, we have done this lighting for, especially for this space. And the first work is by this incredible Sumed Rajendran. Sumed Rajendran is one of my favorite sculptor from Kerala, lives and works in Delhi, Noida. This is a bronze cast sculpture, and the materiality used by these artists is very, very interesting. Here it is wood and stone, and here it is marble. There it is, you can see cement casted body, and this is bronze. So the materiality used, assembled it, make greater meaning, and using silver foil casted with bronze, it's beautiful. And Jitish, when I invited Jitish Kallat, as you all know, that one of our star artists. I didn't invite him because he's star. He's from Kerala, was born in Bombay, and his father was. I'm very familiar to anyway. So it's interesting to see. When I invited him, he said, I would like to suggest one project which is I've done it for a long time, and it is about his father, memory of his father. And the father was in Kerala, and it is from birth to death. You can see each frame belongs to this, for example, November 1998. So it was started in April some years ago, and the last one is December 1998, passed away. And this moon is kind of, you can see that cycle of life, and it is rotis, and it is talking about, definitely talking about an immediate reading. You can talk about its survival. So that's really beautifully installed project. So he was very much concerned when he sent this work, and he didn't wanted to spend send too many works, and felt that this work very well fit for this exhibition. Another sculpture by K.S. Radhakrishnan. And younger generation of artists, this Jalaja play an important role. What is good about her is, she tried to create certain kind of community, and that community also reflect the political interest as well as social causes and the love towards younger generation, other colleagues, and she continuously works. I'm very ambitious scale also she takes up sometimes, and she's done many large scale portraits and all. Here it is the Narayana Guru, and it represents one of the icons of Kerala. Everybody believes his philosophy is also inspired. Gandhi was also inspired by Narayana Guru's philosophy. Here it is, when we talk about Kerala, the boat is one of the most important, in a way, a symbol or icon you can talk about. And it is both of them in going into different directions. That polarity is being reflected in our culture, and that also day-to-day life. These small assemblages, the same kind of heroes and same kind of beliefs that she produced in this small work. And this assemblage, I could sell it recently to a lovely collector. So this, you show the works. And as I was mentioning earlier, we wanted to create a cafeteria in this area. It was so dilapidated, really dirt and, everything. But our friends, the landscape artists who supported this. And here you can see, you must be familiar with Parvati's work. Parvati works from, I met her in Singapore long time ago, and now she lives in she used pencil, graphite as kind of one of the most important medium in her practice. She's done few fantastic works for this project. This I brought it from Chennai to show this. You can come closer and show this works. Maybe that, this one. Yeah, come. These artists I found. These are the artists, later period I found in my research travel, and later I got to know. I missed this artist, but I met her few months ago, and before, few years ago, and I picked up her work from Wayanad. And show this garden. Go to the last room. This work is by Professor Ajay Kumar. He was the dean of the Fine Arts College in Trivandrum, and he's recently published a book. I heard it is 650 odd pages of writing, and as I told him that I cannot read such large books, but my reading would be a difficult thing, but definitely it is an important and especially when so many writers in Kerala, and this is an artist writing a novel, I'm looking forward to reading it, even if it take hours and months, maybe months to complete it. So here it is anyway, his installation of three projects. Yeah. It's on. This small room you can find this artist Gayatri Gamus. Gayatri Gamus lived in Kerala for a long time, married to Anand Skaria. Anand Skaria was a lover of tree and who started a movement creating, making green spaces in Kerala. So this Gayatri Gamus works. She's Spanish, as I mentioned. You can see this minimalistic, abstract, beautiful, great work. She's represented by one of the most important gallery in Delhi. This is an artist, Madhusudanan. He's from this radical group of painters and sculptors. He's done this 2 video projections, and also this. He was born in Alappuzha, and you can before installing this place, there's a door here, and outside I was thinking of a cafe. People could come and hang around and things like that. And this sculpture is actually taken from, maybe you can say that it is from this place itself. Sports have this installation especially created for this exhibition, and it's also done with some fantastic drawings. Really. So you must be familiar with this work in the Kochi Biennale, which was one of the greatest curator in my life. I felt Lokame Tharavadu picked up his work for Venice Biennale from Kochi Muslis Biennale, and that was the last travel to before he was curating Venice. Lokame, I always remember how he thinks about Kerala and thinks about the Kochi Muslis Biennale, and the connection in between the south to south is also always really talked about. So after this, I think after the Venice, I think Kiran Nada, one of our favorite collector, picked up his entire collection, I think. This is a young artist and a mid-career artist, a self-taught artist, brilliant Ubendranath. Ubendranath created really fantastic drawings, very sensitive drawings. It's a kind of thousands of millions of, scribbles kind of thing, So really, really you have to experience it very closely. And it's very sensitive work by Ubendranath. Sorry, this is darker space always, reflects, that. And this young artist, she's doing her master's in Baroda. Really, one of the most promising young artists I find it, very sensitive. She really wanted to put these works directly on the wall, which I really agree on that. But, like looking at the weather and climate here in Kerala, I think, it is the percentage of humidity is 5% or something. So it varies every day, but I'm saying it's quite difficult to put it together a place with, when we think about weather control spaces. I would like to suggest to the state that, we should think about some weather control spaces for artist projects. Then you can bring, the greatest artists from around the world, whether it is Picasso or Rembrandt or, we have built a place called the Darbar Hall in 2011, and it is a weather controlled space, and you can still bring fantastic work. Here, everybody knows about Joseph Kosuth when we talk about contemporary conceptual art. Joseph Kosuth, what he's done is installed a chair and a chair's photograph and meaning of chair. Here it is this Vageshwari camera. Vageshwari camera is actually created in Alappuzha district itself. And he bought this camera and photographed these sites with this camera. And there are 16 photographs, hand-painted negatives. And conceptually, it is a fantastic work. It's a young artist, like Anu John David. And it's all, places very nearby. Another artist who, there are explanations about these, each and every artist. I have the reference, who is who of Alappuzha, older generation of people from Kerala, Alappuzha spaces. And this is by Sunil Linus Day. Linus Day is a specialist in watercolor and etched, looking at the spaces in Alappuzha and historical places, relevant places, curated places he painted. And I have two lovely, beautiful video art by Sumed Rajendran. Unfortunately, you can go out and see it, but it's no point in giving a snippet of it. Sumed's it's just supposed to, because Sumed's works, I think it is important to see it together. The sculpture room is at the next door, and when you come through that, you can experience the same. Here it is, you have two works by one installation by Reggie KP. Reggie lives and works in Baroda. And his painting is a real reflection of his Alappuzha. He's an Alappuzha boy, but lives in Baroda right now. The painting is also his childhood memories. You can see there's a kind of sense of humor or sense of nostalgia you can find in his work. There are prints, graphics prints. On my research, I found out that Satyapal also works on etchings. Satyapal used to be the Lalitkala Academy chairman of Kerala, and he's a self-taught artist. And you can see that love for traditional, love for folk, all that is reflected, Swaminathan liking of Swaminathan, all those things you can see it in his paintings. This one more work here. Finally, I have a young mother, young artist who lives in Bombay. Lakshmi Madhavan. She created this woven, like Kerala is known for this kasavu mundu. And kasavu is used for the text. And this was produced in a special place in Trivandrum. And this is a 360-degree of really lovely installation she's done. So, yes, I am done with my walkthrough at the Port Museum. And as I mentioned, you must have seen 15 to 20% of maybe 15% of the entire show of Lokame Tharavadu. If you have any questions, Uma, Jaya, any of you, please, I'm happy to answer.
Hi, Bose. That was amazing. Thank you so much. It's just been a lovely opportunity to go through the site. It looks beautiful. The works look incredible, and so many artists, and so many techniques and styles, and so many points of view. It's just been incredible, and I think we've had a great audience throughout, and I think that stands testament to how incredible and interesting the show is. And I'm sure everybody wishes that they could fly down right away and come see the show.
Oh, thank you, Uma. That's like the diversity of practices coming out of this little stage is amazing in this little land. I was really surprised to see so many schools. I was talking about this arte povera, conceptual work, to minimalism, to abstract, all kinds. Surreal, magical realism. So many styles you can find. Yeah.
Bose, we had asked the audience for questions, but I think the most asked question is, why is it extended only till the 30th of November, and why can't it be extended longer? I think you can answer that question.
Yeah, actually, we were supposed to open it on 18th of April, right? April in 3 months program. Sure, it is, like such shows should run for a year. And I think it is important that, that long period is an important thing for experiencing such large scale projects.
Bose, there's been another question. Just wondering about, can you tell us briefly about how did this idea germinate, and how did you come to think about this and then slowly evolve into this mammoth exhibition?
The idea of Lokame Tharavadu is because I felt that in India, and when we look at the caste and religious issues and things like that, there's a kind of real insecurity, and I felt it is an important to show this multiculturalism and this Kerala is also known for its receptiveness towards different kind of cultures, different kind of religion, and it is an ideal location, an ideal land of secularism. For me, secularism is one of the most important elements, to be together with real open mind and receptive like a mirror, be like a mirror, and Kerala is like a mirror, and it's very fluid. Like we have 44 rivers in this beautiful land and green land. Yeah, welcome to this city of Alappi. This Alappi city can be a city of art, city of museums, city of creative city, like UNESCO called some of the cities as a creative city.
Uma, can I ask one question to Bose?
Go ahead.
Do we have time?
You have been practicing this walk the last 3 years, like taking 45-minute walk every day. Bose, thank you for this wonderful walk. Now it's officially announced that the exhibition has extended till November 30th. What are the challenges you're expecting, and what is the vision for the coming months? And what kind of support are you seeking? Not only from the government, but there are also a lot of diverse stakeholders out here, artist community, collectors, entrepreneurs. There are a lot of people.
It is an important point when we think about how you continue with this exhibition. And as I mentioned in between, that this place has got more humid than any other places in Kerala. It is important to have some kind of conservation ideas, and also I need I would like to bring more mediators for this project. Since it is in Alapi, I would like to have mediators like in the Binale. And then of course you need to do some areas rework on the site itself. So those kind of expenses, it is going to be a little bit more expensive. But I'm very happy that like there is an opportunity to explore and see, people are started coming from different parts, and I'm expecting some wonderful collectors who called up and said they would like to visit. I would like all collectors come and see, encourage these artists, non-artists, unknown artists, old artists, young artists, all kinds of practitioners. And I can see the lot of students coming from all around Kerala. Students of architects I have seen from Malappuram and Calicut and other places. That is very encouraging, so this place is this is a site for learning.
Thank you, Bose. Thank you so much. Thank you, Premjish, as well, for such an incredible opportunity to learn about and experience this exhibition. We cannot tell you how grateful we are for the work that you have been doing, and couldn't be happier to support such a dynamic and mammoth endeavor. Congratulations to the whole team, the Kochi Biennale Foundation, and to all the amazing, talented artists that participated as part of the show. I would also like to inform everyone that a selection of the works are available, and in case anything caught your eye, please feel free to write into us at info@indiaartfair.in or on our social media platforms. We'd be more than happy to answer questions and give you more information. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we hope to see you again.
I would like to thank India Art Fair as well. India Art Fair, Uma, Jaya, my team of people, Premjesh, she always been fantastic, and putting together my Arun, who is holding this heavy camera for a long time.
Thank you, Arun.
Thank you, Arun.
And my team of people, Sanjay, Pittu, there are so many names I have to say. Just thank you so much, my assistant Rohana, Jairaj, all of them, put it together this, and many young generation of people who really support, my board members, my patrons from all around, my supporters of this exhibition, and state government of Kerala, tourism department, and everyone. Thank you so much. India Art Fair, all my best wishes towards your exhibition in February, and looking forward to that. And lots of love from Alappuzha.